He's not a good person. He seems to have lost his character somewhere along the way.
What are your kids going to say about the kind of person that you are?
The way Dana treated me, it was just very disrespectful. He was trying to assassinate my character left and right.
A good person. He seems to have lost his character somewhere along the way.
The kind of person that you are.
He was trying to assassinate my character left and right.
Lost his character somewhere along the way.
Is figuring out who you are and what you want to do for the rest of your life. It's a big decision. I'm very blessed and lucky. I always knew who I was and exactly what I wanted to do. And once you figure that out, you wake up every day and you work toward it. That's what you do. It's impossible for you to fail if you know who you are, what you want to do, and you wake up every day and work toward it.
On January 2001, Dana White, with the help of his old friends Lorenzo and Frank Fertitas, acquired UFC from Bob Merowitz, who was then the owner of UFC.
A month later, we bought the UFC for $2 million.
$2 million.
The deal was done for $2 million and Dana White became the president of the new company.
You know what we bought for $2 million?
What?
The 3 letters UFC and an old wooden octagon.
He spent much of the years flying around the country speaking to the most heavily regulated states such as New York, Nevada, and California about mixed martial arts, educating those at the top and convincing them that this was not just human bear baiting. He was met with resistance at every turn, and the vast majority turned their nose up at a sport easily dismissed as cage fighting.
I did. I mean, I had to fly to places and literally had to wait outside people's offices for them to come out and grab them because they wouldn't meet with me. You know, they didn't want anything to do with the UFC. They didn't even want to waste 5 minutes of their time to talk about the UFC.
Up until 2005, almost $40 million of Fertitta's money was burned and UFC was about to die. But giving a one last shot, the Fertittas decided to pour another $10 million to rescue the business in the form of a reality show called The Ultimate Fighter.
Fighter? That is my question. And only you know that. Anybody who says they don't, I don't fucking want you here. And I'll throw you the fuck out of this gym so fast your head will spin. It's up to you.
The basic theme of the show was that there were 2 teams coached by rival UFC fighters, and a member of each team would fight another to stay on the show, until eventually an ultimate fighter was crowned. The cameras had access to the house and it made huge views. The Ultimate Fighter proved to be a massive hit. The final showdown was between Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner. It was a legendary battle that has since been immortalized in the UFC's Hall of Fame. Dana White's vision for UFC was bold and audacious, with a razor-sharp focus and an unyielding determination. He navigated through countless obstacles, from regulatory hurdles to financial challenges, to transform the UFC into a global powerhouse.
Productions.
Dana White is notorious for firing UFC fighters who don't align to the rules of the sport.
I will fire you. You will lose your job. You will never work for me again if you do that.
This ruthless approach has been a pretty effective way of controlling fighters. On October 2013, Dana White suspended Rosimar Palhares after his unsportsmanlike conduct in the cage. Rosimar continued to hold on even after his opponent tapped out.
The first guy ever to get kicked out of the UFC for holding on to submissions.
This angered Dana and he banned him from the UFC.
You're going to cut him. This is it. You're saying here right now on the record, not just a suspension, he's done.
He's done.
Ruslan Magomedov, another Dagestani fighter and a close friend of Khabib Nurmagomedov, was the first fighter to get banned from USADA for life after he failed 3 doping tests. This act made it loud and clear to all the other fighters that UFC don't tolerate drugs. Another promising fighter, Paul Daly, who was a hothead, got banned from the UFC after he punched his opponent when the fight ended. Dana White cut Daly off from the promotion immediately.
Stuff like the eye gouging, the hit after the bell, all that stuff, that will not ever be tolerated, and he's done.
Dana has banned many other fighters to maintain his undisputed rule of the company. Some notables include Jason High, who striked a referee after a knockout stoppage, Thiago Silva, who pulled a gun to scare his wife and her boyfriend, and a UFC legend like BJ Penn, who got involved in a street fight. Dana White has also been non-tolerant and merciless in cases of steroid usages. Multiple fighters get suspended before every UFC event as the Supremo of the company is unforgiving when it comes to the doping tests. This tactic of Dana White has sent a clear message to all the fighters that when in the jungle, do as the king says.